So you probably didn't expect to do a little commentary like this, and to be entirely honest, I didn't myself, but I don't really have a lot of time lately and this is just a lot more efficient. I'm not entirely sure if I will keep doing these, but if you like this, if you prefer this over the text I do, then please do let me know. I'm willing to do more of these, but I have a feeling that I'm not the best kind of entertainer for this. I'd rather have the text on the screen. Everything is easy to pause, everything is easy to understand, and you can watch muted, you don't have to listen to the music, etc, etc. But if you do prefer this, then do let me know. I mean, the background isn't really special, it's just me flying the F2 while I was grinding the F100. Right now I do have it, it's just I'm not very satisfied with the footage I have. It's decent footage, but I'm not too sure if it showcases the plane too well. I don't want to just mop up 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, just AFK people that are landing, etc. So I don't want to use it, but at the same time it's a good indication of how to fly it, but at the same time it's not. Because flying against MiG-19s is kind of a pain, but at the same time they can't really do a lot. It's kind of this stalemate. They are behind you, you're barely outrunning him. In the long run you will outrun them, but they will just keep climbing gradually. So in the end they will actually have more energy than you, even though you're gaining separation, and it's a bit annoying. It takes a really long time, you have to be really patient, and you have to hope and pray to God that there won't be another one. The second you get 1, 2, 3 on your 6, like next to the first one, it's kinda over, and it's annoying. But the F100 in my opinion is better at killing 9.0s. The way I see it is the MiG-19 is there to counter the F100, mopping up half your team. It really is, they both are actually, are pure support fighter. They are not good for carrying. Of course you can get the occasional carry, but that's mostly against inexperienced players, F-35s, people buying premiums, the premium jets. And yes, you can win versus those, but the problem is that most of the times, because it's such a team game at top tier right now, that one team is completely wiped, or you get these 1v4s, 1v6, you get the idea, you've been there, and it's really hard to carry, especially with how much energy you lose by just pulling. Like with the F100 you will try to get a shot, and you will get it off, but that pull you did to get the shot on him will cost you 100, 150, 200 kph, which is a bit excessive in my opinion. And sure, you can argue it should lose that much, it kinda should, but I think for a gameplay perspective that is not right, just because of the amount of energy it loses, and it doesn't really get it back. Now sure, the top speed is still great, and you can argue that it's untouchable, and it kinda is, but arguably the MiG-19 is just as untouchable, if not more. Sure, the MiG-19 can't really catch the F100 on the deck, but at the same time the F100 will not get good shots on the MiG-19 unless it sets itself up. The climb rate on it is almost 1-to-1 to the C2B as of right now, which is, in my opinion, when you compare to the F100, that's probably a bit better than the Hunter, which I don't think that's fair. But at the same time I do get why they did it. You can kind of see that they tried to mimic the MiG-15 versus F2 fight. Well, one has the lot better acceleration, but it's worse high speed handling, and the other one has a better top speed. But the MiG-15 actually loses its accel at top speed, which the F2 can counter, because it has that good top end acceleration. But this MiG-19 as of right now has the best acceleration overall. Until the literal second it reaches its top speed, it will out accelerate the F100. So if the F100 isn't at that threshold of 1170 on the top of my head, I didn't look this up, till 1200 it doesn't actually out accelerate it. And that's what makes it so hard. You mostly have to dodge more than one person, they start lobbing missiles at you even though you outrun them, and you will lose a lot of speed doing this. So what ends up happening is you will outrun it, they shoot a missile at you, you will lose about 50 kph to dodge it, and in the meantime the MiG-19 closes the gap. And as it's doing that, they start spraying, because those guns go really far. And you would be completely right, most people won't hit you. But they can, and as long as that danger remains there, you will have to keep it in mind. But the biggest problem out of all of this is, mostly it's not just one So you pretty much run around all game trying to get separation, they don't let go, you have to move a little bit, or you map border, you accidentally fly over AA, enemy airfield, you know the drill. So you have to move, you get cut off and you have to start all over again. The best way for both parties would be that the MiG-19 gives you some room, but at the same time it shouldn't. You shouldn't give the F-100 room. It's a little bit like the Hunter in that regard. If you don't lock it down, it will, with a good player in it of course, ruin your team. It has a lot of ammo, it has good guns, it pulls really hard, it can just lob missiles, 4 of them, it has way too many. It has so much firepower and maneuverability at the high speed that if you don't lock it down, that with a good player in it, it will have the means to cripple half your team in a matter of minutes. And then on the other end of the spectrum you have the MiG-19, which you can't really lock down because of that vertical energy. But it also can't really kill your team. I do think that they have a really interesting dynamic going between them, where the MiG-19 is the counter for the F-100 that kind of kills your team. But at the same time it's annoying. In all honesty, I'd rather fly the Vautour versus 9.0s than I fly the MiG-19. This is of course considering you have a decent team. If I have to carry or fight a lot of F-100s, then of course I will pick the MiG-19, simply because I can actually keep them busy. I can turn fight, I don't just get an F-100 up my ass because they see a bomber and they won't let go. They outturn me, they outrun me, they outgun me, they have missiles. I don't have to finish this list, you'll see what I'm going with this. And you might wonder, where does the Javelin fit in all of this? And my answer would be, it doesn't. Well, thank you for enduring my voice for a solid 7 minutes. If you do think that this is bearable enough, and if you do prefer this over the text, do let me know. I will make more of these if the feedback is positive, and otherwise I will just go back to text. But for right now I'll just see what the feedback is.